Today is October the 7th. What happens when we die? Let's find out together as we read 1 Corinthians chapters 15 and 16. As we come to the end of the book of 1 Corinthians, we have a very long chapter, chapter 15. Almost 60 verses. It all deals with the resurrection. The early church was struggling. They, frankly, thought that Jesus, after he left, would come back very soon. They thought that they would be caught up with him in heaven. But then, some of them started to die. Now, in the book of 1 Thessalonians, probably one of the first books of the New Testament to be written, Paul writes to the Thessalonian church, don't worry about those who have fallen asleep. Don't worry about those who have died. They will be resurrected in a new body. Here in the book of Corinthians, he really lays out his concept of the resurrection. He starts by saying we believe in the resurrection because Jesus was resurrected from the dead. Early on in chapter 15, he talks about all of those who saw Jesus resurrected. At one appearance, over 500 people were present, and they all saw Jesus. Now, Paul goes on saying, just like Jesus was resurrected, we too will be resurrected. He uses a lot of allusion to the Old Testament. He actually talks about Adam in Christ. He talks about, in verse 45, the first man, Adam, became a living person. The last Adam, that is Christ, gave us the Spirit. He became a life-giving Spirit. First is natural, then is spiritual. Paul explains to us that we will be resurrected. Many of us have the idea that when we die, we go to be in heaven. What happens when we die? We go to heaven. According to the New Testament, not so much. Heaven is where God and the angels live. The earth was created for us. After we die, we will be resurrected in bodies, new bodies, somewhat similar to what we have now, but different. They will live forever. And forever, we will be able to enjoy God's presence here on this earth. What happens when we die? We rest in the knowledge that we will one day be resurrected to be with him. Now in chapter 16, Paul deals with just some final things, a collection for the poor in Jerusalem. Then Paul has other instructions about what they're to do. Look at verses 13 to 16. As Paul wraps up this letter, he says, be on guard, be prepared. Stand firm. Don't waver. Don't back down. Be courageous. Be strong. Love. Just simple, one-word commands. But in those commands, what depth of instruction for us. Always be prepared, be on our guard, stay on our toes, stand firm, don't back down, be courageous, be strong, do everything with love. Like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you use to listen to it. Email your questions to us at questions@becomehope.com. Enjoy this weekend in the church of your choice.